my name is Michael Lamm from Corporate Advisory Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about a service offering that we provide called market timing analysis. And that analysis that we do is done for business owners that are contemplating or they're thinking about selling their business in the short term, and they're trying to think through why and when and how they should consider selling the business.
Great. What are some of the factors that you should be looking at that can determine a more or less favorable time to enter the market?
Well, Amy, right now with the market the way it is, with inflation, labor shortages, and everything else going on, this is a very important thing to contemplate right now because whatever industry you may be in or operating in, it's not always the most opportune time to go to the marketplace. And one of the key drivers for that is usually around how you're financially performing, because that will drive whether it's a good time to do something or it may not be, but also what's going on inside the industry that you're operating in that may cause an issue or a concern, or maybe there's a big opportunity in your industry or market that could drive you to do something in the near term versus the long term.
So how do you go about deciding whether or not it is a good time for you to enter the market, or whether or not you might be a time to take a look at yourself inside, fix some things, and get things going on that flow before revisiting that thought?
It's kind of like looking at the macro environment and then the micro environment. Macro is what's going on with the economy, as we talked about, the inflation, GDP, unemployment, how is that positively and negatively affecting your business, right? And that in itself will drive a decision point. And the other item that comes into play on the micro side is, what's going on today, not just what's going on in the world, but what's going on in the industry that you're operating in, right? Are there technology changes? Are there an uptick in regulatory issues that are happening? Is there changes that are affecting your labor or your staffing model? All of these things need to get addressed. And that's why a market timing analysis becomes very useful, because it kind of helps to lay out all of those issues, good, bad, and indifferent, that you'd want to be thinking about when it comes to the sale of the business.
Okay, so when you're looking at the sale of the business, I guess you need to be looking for people to actually buy and be interested in buying the business too, is probably a really big thing. So how do you even start going about figuring out who those people might be?
Yeah, so we have in our business, we have a database of thousands of buyers that we've talked to, cultivated relationships with, and we have them tagged into different buckets in terms of what their interest level is. So as a part of this exit or timing or market timing analysis is taking a look at what does the ecosystem look like of potential buyers? How many are there? Who are they? Why are they would be interested in the business? So you could get a handle on how you would package up the company to make it even more interesting or intriguing to a potential suitor that you want to talk to about the business.
Okay, so everything that's going on in America right now, things are crazy. What if you wanted to expand overseas? What if you wanted to link up with a company and go global or do something outside of here? Is that something that you can help with too?
We do a lot of cross-border M&A work. So we see companies, and a lot of the buyers that are coming to us now actually aren't even here in the US. They're in Europe, they're in Asia, they're in Central and South America. They're all over the place. And as a result of that, it isn't just being the world continues to globalize, thinking about where you're growing your business. As an example, we had a client, Amy, that was really expanding heavily in Europe. And they told us, they were like, look, if maybe there's a potential buyer that's in Europe that could help us take advantage of some really exciting growth opportunities with our business and cross-sell some of the products and services that we're offering in the European market. So as a part of our market timing analysis, we were able to research and find a dozen or so strategic buyers that were based in Europe that would have potentially had an interest in the business. So we were able to lay that out and figure out what was of interest to those potential buyers well before we brought the deal to them.
Okay. So giving that overall view landscape of where things are, where things could head, that's kind of where you come in, you look at the company, you assess it. What are some of the different things that when you're presenting these potential companies to potential buyers that you want to show right off the bat?
Well, there's two levels to that, right? Of course, we want to be the potential buyer may say, we're looking for businesses that have a certain level of profitability or revenues, or they're in a particular service line. And so we've got to cross that bridge first and see who's in that ecosystem, right? Like, do they meet those guardrails? And if they do, then the next phase of it is, does this type of a business model fit with their operating model? And then see how they tie together. Because we're talking a lot about strategic or industry buyers, but then for financial buyers that are just really investors that have money, it doesn't necessarily matter so much about the cross sell and the strategic view of the business. It matters about, does it meet those guardrails or not? Is it 5 million of EBITDA and 20 million of revenue? And does it meet the requirements of the fund in order to make an investment in the business?
Okay, so these target buyer profiles are kind of what we're going to be talking about next week. So I don't want you to give away all of these different profiles and things that you'll be looking at, but in the realm of exit strategy analysis and looking at those different things and being able to figure out if you have people to buy, that's pretty much key importance there, right?
It absolutely is. It's just like, you want to be able to go out and know before you go talk to them and reveal a lot of information about your business and about how you've succeeded over the years. Before you go do that, wouldn't it be helpful to know who those types of buyers are, so you could do your own market research, your own analysis about them, see if there's people that you're connected to, that they are on LinkedIn or in social media. All of that background market research can be done in that market timing analysis that we just discussed.
And that's why whenever you tell people if they like to discuss things, you'll do it confidentially, because you don't give away their secrets, do you?
No doubt. Everything we do is under confidentiality. We live and breathe by it every day.
Well, that's always a good thing to have in this world, that's for sure. So we will be joining each other again next week, where we'll go into more of those target buyer profiles, some of the things that you should be looking for when you're going to sell your business. But is there anything else you want to leave people with for exit timing analysis and things that they should have prepared for what they need to look for before they start this journey?
No, Amy. Well, look, stay tuned for next week, because we're going to be talking about kind of the nitty-gritty of these potential buyers, the pitfalls around some of the buyers, and what you need to look for. So keep a lookout for our next video.
Yes, like and subscribe to our channels, and we'll be back next week.